All right, listen up. If you're running motorcycle or ATV tours in Baja California, or even just thinking about it, you need to hear this. The entire game has changed. For any foreign operators, 2026 isn't just another year on the calendar. It's a whole new world. And honestly, this is your survival guide.
So let's just get right to the point. This quote, it comes straight from the new compliance framework, and it says everything. Those days of kind of flying under the radar, operating in that legal gray area, they are completely 100% over. You have to start thinking of legitimacy not as something you aim for, but as the absolute rock-bottom price of admission just to get in the door.
And what we're seeing here is a massive systemic pivot. For years, Baja was kind of like the Old West, right? A frontier where foreign tour companies could come in, be a little extractive, maybe even parasitic. That's done. The new reality is all about being symbiotic, being compliant, and it's backed up by very real, very active enforcement. It is a total paradigm shift. Okay, so let's dive into what this new reality actually looks like on the ground. And we're going to start with the true source of all authority. And here's a hint for you. It's not some government office in a big city.
See, true legitimacy in Baja, it doesn't start with the federal permit you get in La Paz. No way. It begins right there, on the ground, with the local communities that hold the land. And they have sovereign authority over every single trail you want to ride.
The one word you absolutely have to understand is ejido. Now, under Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution, these communities are the ultimate power brokers for their land. The ejido's General Assembly is the sovereign body, and their official approval is the bedrock, the absolute foundation of any legal tour operation.
And we're not just talking about some friendly handshake deal. This is a formal social license to operate. It's a legally binding prerequisite, and it's written into the ejido's own registered internal regulations. If you don't have it, you are trespassing. Period. End of story.
And this power they have, it has real, immediate, and frankly unshakable consequences. A huge part of the East Cape is ancestral land of the Paracu people. So if your tour happens to uncover sacred remains, like the incredible red ochre painted burials at what's known as the Cemetery of the Sea, that triggers an immediate, permanent, and irrevocable kill switch on all activity. There is no appeal. The trail just goes cold, forever.
All right, so once you've built on that foundation of local approval, let's talk about the federal and state stuff. You should really think of this as your non-negotiable checklist for survival.
The first number you need to burn into your brain is 90%. The federal labor law is crystal clear on this. At least 90% of your entire workforce, I'm talking mechanics, guides, everybody, has to be Mexican nationals. Coming in and displacing local labor with unpermitted foreign staff, well, that's now seen as a direct attack on the community.
And believe me, it gets even deeper. You have to move to a 40-hour work week, and you have to track it with electronic logs that can't be altered. You know those old paper logbooks? Yeah, those are now basically considered evidence of non-compliance. You also need documented training on workplace violence prevention, and every single person on your payroll, foreign or national, has got to be registered with the tax authority and Social Security.
Now, on the business side of things, there is a clear path forward. It all starts with getting your National Tourism Registry number, the RNT. From there, you get your tax ID, you comply with the mandatory adventure tourism safety standards, get the right insurance, and then secure permits for any protected areas you might cross. And remember, all of this is on top of getting your social license from the ejido.
But here's where this new reality really sinks in. The legal paperwork, that's just the start. The real test, the real question, is whether you're a genuine steward of the land and a true partner to the community.
This is the question that regulators and community leaders are literally asking about you. They're looking at your business model and deciding if it actually contributes to the health of Baja or if it just sucks the value right out of it. There is absolutely no middle ground anymore.
So what does a real partner do?
Well, they contribute to local stuff, schools, roads, health services. They pay the tourist tax for every single client. They post a 10-year bond to guarantee environmental cleanup. They even have to manage their acoustic smog, the noise from ATVs and bikes, which has been shown to seriously harm the health of orca calves over in the Cervo Channel.
This whole commitment to cultural respect, it goes way deeper than you might think. Here's a perfect example. If your website or your marketing brochures use the old, defunct developer name Bahía de los Sueños, that is an immediate red flag for inspectors. It tells them you are totally disconnected from local law and history. Using the correct legal name, Ensenada de Muertos, signals that you're integrated and that you're respectful. It's a simple test, but it's one you absolutely cannot afford to fail.
Okay, so
what happens if you just try to ignore all this? Let me be clear. The consequences are not a slap on the wrist anymore. They are designed to be swift, severe, and to literally follow you home.
And this right here is the game changer. It's called the SECTUR portal. It's a new government platform that lets anyone, a competitor, a disgruntled ex-employee, a concerned local, anonymously report labor, tax, or environmental violations in real time, complete with photos and GPS data.
And once a report gets filed, the whole process is incredibly fast. We're talking within a week, a multi-agency audit gets triggered. By week 2, you could be staring down massive fines and having your assets seized. By week 3, your name and your photo are in a public registry of offenders. And within a single month, your passport is flagged internationally.
And just so we're clear, these consequences are designed to stick. We are talking about immediate exclusion from all Ejido lands, total seizure of your bikes, your equipment, your photo, and your home address shared with international consulates to make sure you get a permanent ban from ever re-entering Mexico. They're even using the National Guard to set up security cordons during inspections. The message could not be clearer. There is nowhere to hide.
Okay, after all of those warnings, let's actually talk about solutions. Because this isn't about scaring you out of business. It's about showing you the right way to operate and to thrive. There is a clear legal path forward. So essentially, you've got two main choices. There's the entrepreneurial pathway. This is for a full-scale operation. You incorporate a Mexican company, you get registered to hire employees, and you operate as a formal business. Then there's the personal pathway. This is more for the individual operator. You get legal residency, you get an explicit work permit, and then you register as a sole proprietor. Both roads get you to full compliance.
And really, that brings us to the final question you have to ask yourself. The rules are set, the enforcement is very real, and the path to doing things the right way is clear. Operating in Baja isn't just about adventure anymore, it's about partnership. So, what's it going to be? Will you build a symbiotic business that can last for generations? Or will you become just another cautionary tale, a footnote in the official registry of offenders? The choice is entirely yours.